welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Okay, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Back out of here on a Monday. Bird tried to shake off an F- weekend, as he called it. Had some annoying family that were calling him on the carpet and just kind of ruined everything. Plus, you got this rash thing is going down, all kinds of stuff here.
I appreciate everyone letting me rant at the beginning of the show, just kind of getting it all out on a Monday. It's very kind of y'all and the audience, so thank you. Did you ever have one of those weekends where it just, you can't make a right turn? Nothing is going your way.
Everything seems to pile up.
Well, I also had a video shoot I was getting ready to do, and not one of my costumes came in. So I have all these people waiting to do this video, and none of the costumes are in. So then I have to cancel, and some people are pissed. And
Just like one thing after another,
nothing worked out.
Yeah. I do have that. It's kind of odd. You're like, oh, man, it's just everything goes wrong.
But I think that happens to everybody, where you just kind of go into like a little cycle of doom.
It does. Yeah, it's tough, man, too. You talk about the family thing, and, you know, we kind of parlayed that with how many people have cut off somebody in their family, because it's a different era, man. I just think, look, you got to be kind to one another, and just because you're family doesn't mean that you get a pass to come in here and tell me what to do and trash my life and be so nasty and critical. That I think more people are looking at their family and saying, hey, I'm going to treat you like I treat everybody else. So if you can be cool and civil, it'd be great to have you in my life. But if you're just going to be nothing but a wet blanket every time that we have interaction,
I've known quite a few people who are not at all close with their family in any shape. Yeah. It happens, man, and it sucks, because if you have a family you love and that you love being a part of, I mean, they can lift you up when you're drowning. I mean, family really, and family can mean a lot. That term can be different. You don't have to be blood to be family.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. I think a lot of people have realized that there are just some people that I click with, and those are the people that I would like to deem to be my family. Those are the people that I really want to go out and stick my neck out for and do something for and be around and be a part of. Not somebody's going to drain my energy and whatnot just because we supposedly share the same blood.
And there's also, too, there's extended family that you don't even really maybe not know. For example, I've got family out in Pennsylvania and out in Rhode Island. I don't know any of those fuckers.
Right.
Like, I have never really gotten to be exposed to them. Yeah. They know like little excerpts of a Jaybird and what he's about. So they have their own opinion of me.
And the ball's on them to come in and be critical of what you do for a living and how you do it. I mean, that's where I'd just be like, you know what? We just are probably never going to talk again. That's it.
There's a weird thing in the New England area with some people who they love shitting on a rainbow. They always find, like, hey, here's some free tickets to Disney World. Why can't I go to fucking Adventures of Islands or whatever? Like, there's always, no matter what, they're gonna find that ray of shit.
It's like, and people are like, I don't need that. There's enough things that steal my joy. Like, no, that's crazy. If you're gonna do that with me, it's not gonna. Family or not, we're not going to have an active relationship if that's how you're going to be treating me.
And I don't want the people to think that I'm always around these people. It's a brief kind of a thing. It just kind of hijacked my weekend a little bit.
Well, for you to say that they showed up unannounced, I'd be like, I ain't got time for this. I got stuff going on. So enjoy your time in South Florida. You guys have a good time, and you can let me know later how it went.
Unannounced visitors. I got to tell you, man, something's changed in society. I almost get offended. When
it's insanely rude.
Well,
insanely
really
rude. I wouldn't do that to my wife. I wouldn't do it to my kids, to my wife. These are the people I'm closest with on planet Earth. I would let them know. Be like, okay, I'm gonna come over, and here's when, and is it okay? Well, if I do.
A drop by was a common thing back in the day, and when I was a little kid, it was common for people to unannouncedly show up at your house. Something changed to where I think society goes, I don't like this.
No. My family would be standing on my front porch.
You better text me, let me know you're coming over.
Ain't done it.
Well, what if I'm touching my pud?
Never know what you could be touching.
Yeah, now we got it. There's like lotion involved, a knock on the door, man. There's a lot to clean up at that point.
Yep.
You walked in on a...
I did. What's going on?
Virginia.
What about your pud?
Virginia was on the phone getting me a doctor's appointment for my rash that I got from my car accident.
Yeah, so people have sent some thoughts on that. Panchita sent an email about things you can do. They're thinking maybe it could be from the airbags that were deployed because there's a powder that's on it and the way it comes out with the friction and everything. Maybe that's it. It's either that or maybe something you walked through in the weeds after your accident. And Christy said here in her email that have you ruled out Stevens-Johnson syndrome? I know it's not a joke. It's an allergy to antibiotics. It begins as a rash and is a serious issue. I'm not sure what other symptoms Jaybird has, but share it with him.
Dude, I am open to any kind of suggestions. And like I said last week, and I won't go on no Luigi rant or anything. There's good doctors, there's bad doctors, and you have to really be an advocate for your own stuff and almost kind of go in there and guide them at times.
Right.
I'm not saying that's with everybody because there's amazing doctors out there. I wasn't attacking medical people. I was attacking shitty medical people.
Right.
Yeah, they said this toxic epidermal necrolysis, serious skin conditions that cause your skin to develop rashes, blisters, and then peel. Your mucous membranes, including your eyes, genitalia, and mouth, are also affected.
Oh, great. So my dick's going to get bigger?
Oh, no.
Necrosis of the dick.
Because I don't think it can get any smaller.
It's also known as Lyle's syndrome. Okay.
All right, cool. That will be something I can just obsess about later.
Let's just let you have an appointment. I just made you an appointment. 11:30 tomorrow. I will get you there and you'll be fine.
I've got Tim Johnson's disease. What is this fucking shit now I got to look up and obsess about tonight?
Stevens-Johnson syndrome.
Okay.
Who's this Steven and why do you have his Johnson?
I guarantee this shit sounds made up, and there's a guy named Steven Johnson who owns his own business called Steven Johnson's Tires or something.
They just wanted Kevin to say his name.
It's great marketing. It's great marketing. And we had to call him out today. A dude was calling out Walmart chicken, saying that it wasn't living up to the weight they put on the package. And Kathy said, just for the record, the same guy checked weights of packages at Publix, and he didn't find any wrong weights. And on another note about people blocking the whole aisle in the store, try working at Publix. The problem is real. Love you guys. Yeah, somebody had complained about people hogging up the aisles and moving slow on a Friday.
It is. It's something I've noticed more. I don't know, man. Are people getting ruder, or am I just noticing shit because I'm getting all old and shit?
I think people are getting ruder. I really do think that this just it's crazy out there.
Well, I've never gone through that cart kind of a situation. I even brought it up about a month ago where people they'll leave their cart, it blocks off the aisle, and then they'll go walk off in the aisle and look at ragu. Meanwhile, they're, in the banana section. It's all fucked up.
Yeah. You can really clog it up in there.
And I mean, do you want to get into a thing with that person?
You don't.
You really don't.
You don't know them. You got to just try to keep it moving, work around them, and don't say nothing because no one wants to be in a fight in the produce section.
I mean, I really don't want to fight.
There's cameras. Just know that the video will get out.
I don't want to fight with anybody anymore. I want to be peaceful, dog.
Stay out of my way.
And Christina, she had said here, food allergies. My daughter has celiac, and there is an instance where the place that we went for her birthday did not have food to accommodate my daughter. So we brought her own cake, and they would not allow us to bring it in. How messed up is that?
Oh.
Somebody was calling out a restaurant that would not allow them to bring in birthday cupcakes, or at least ask them about. In fact, they let them in. She was upset that they just asked, hey, what's in the bag? She's like, none of your business. It's like, well, we don't typically like people to bring in their own food to our restaurant. And so she got a little bit snippy, and she was calling them out, being like, I'll never go back there again. And some, majority of people are like, I can kind of understand why they don't want you bringing in your own beverages without paying You can pay sometimes a fee if you bring something in, like if you bring in your own wine or something like that. You pay the
corkage fee.
I'm kind of, I kind of can't believe people are even arguing this. You don't bring other food in a restaurant because they want to make money. It's a business. Of course, they're going to get pissed off.
Somebody had said there were other places, maybe it's like Cheesecake Factory or something like that, where they definitely don't allow, because they have their own birthday cakes and stuff like that. And they said, no, if you're in here, like you order our cakes, we have stuff for you for birthdays. We anticipate that, but you can't bring in your own cake and then y'all sit at our tables and enjoy yourself eating your own food.
Order in one Pepsi. Yeah, I can just see how some people could abuse it. That's why I made the meatloaf example. We have cupcakes on Monday. What's next? Oh, someone's eating meatloaf at the table.
But if you have a gluten-sensitive child and you've made a special gluten cake and they won't let you because your kid is gluten-sensitive, serve it to your child, that's kind of messed up. Mm-hmm. They don't have an option that's gluten-free, but yet you can't bring your gluten-free and your kid has celiac.
I mean,
that's messed up.
Yeah.
I'm not going back. Sorry.
Yep. Okay.
That's how you make a point. You use your dollar and you don't go back to places where they're mean to your kid with celiac.
But then their response is going to be, how do we even know your kid has celiac? This could be a ruse, a lie. Then all of a sudden it's meatloaf out of a purse.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if anything else, the lesson is if you're going to do that, unless you want a confrontation, probably call ahead.
Call ahead. Yeah. Even if you know they allow it, call ahead. Because you don't want to surprise anybody when you get there. Mm-hmm. That's not the time to deal with this. When you show up and your reservation's for 7 and it's 6:59, that's not the time to be having this conversation. Mm-hmm. You should absolutely call ahead, speak to a manager, and ask if it's okay. And have that noted on your reservation that you plan to do that.
I've had a few friends that have opened up a restaurant who struggle and that do not have restaurants anymore. And it is a dog-eat-dog world out there when it comes to, and I always wonder when I go into a restaurant and there's nobody in there and it's kind of consistently, you think, how many fucking plates do they have to sell to keep the lights on?
A lot.
Here? I mean, you have to constantly keep turning tables over. So if you're an establishment like that and you are barely making your nut, and then you see someone bring out a fucking meatloaf out of a purse, you're gonna get a little agitated.
Yes, I think anybody would get agitated for seeing purse loaf.
I know. I turned this into the meatloaf issue.
You really are harping on this freaking meatloaf.
Big on meatloaf today, yeah.
Nobody's doing that, bruh.
I disagree.
And apparently I got to put an asterisk on the game today for Think Fast because Steve said people in Japan do eat Doritos with chopsticks. I just didn't figure it'd play well because I was with food that starts with D. I was thinking dumplings out of my brain. I'm like, I don't know if you could do it because I would think they would crack as soon as you try to do it, but maybe it's just the gentle hand.
There was a lot of controversy about Think Fast today. There was. The one thing I thought I heard, some people heard it as well when you said what gets you high.
Yeah.
Some people are claiming that you did say that, and I heard it right. So technically, what gets you high, which my answer was PCP.
High pie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some cleaning up to do.
I think the only reason why I thought I'd said it right was Denny's and Virginia both heard it as pie. But yeah, some people were saying they heard high. So
Denny still goes, I heard pie, but he goes, people are saying they heard high as well.
Yeah, and maybe what happened is you have to watch when you say peas on microphones. So sometimes I go, huh, and I turned away.
You don't pop
it's
your
not
pee.
to pop my pee. And so I think what had happened was I said pie like that. So you probably heard the pie. I did the pee part away from the microphone, and you're the high part.
Okay.
And I am wearing a very constricting hat, and my earphone doesn't work either.
It was sloppy around. I mean, that's why I do it on Monday.
There's no earphone on this side.
No.
I know. I don't know how I'm doing a show.
There's a lot of challenges we have to do this thing right. So, yeah, I think that's probably why you heard high and not high.
Okay, all right, I like it. He's defending himself.
But, yeah, I could definitely see an asterisk on today's.
Well, everyone's talking about it, Kevin.
Yes. So, a lot of stuff to call out here. Justin, he said, you people are sick. Defending a lady who slaughtered her children on Friday's show. She literally said that she did it. There's no excuse. Straight to hell. Jeez. Wonder what is wrong with the world. There is no excuse for this. Sick Holly weirdos. Wonder what's wrong with the kids. Look at the parents. Peace out. Crossed a line on this one.
Sounds like one of my fans.
Sorry.
Is that one of my fans? I don't know. I didn't say much on that shit, because I don't understand it. I don't know the case.
I did.
You ain't take Jay Bird out. Yeah, I had a lot to say. Virginia had a little bit to say. Talking about the story of Lindsay Clancy. He was accused of killing her 3 children, Cora, 5, Dawson, 3, and Callan of 8 months. Now, the one thing you're saying, defending a lady who slaughtered her children on Friday's show. She literally said she did it, so there's no excuse, straight to hell. Now, the one thing I will say for anybody that did not hear it, I did not, and I don't think anybody on this show said anything about her not killing the kids. I think that we all realize that. I think we realize how sick and twisted that whole thing is, and it is the kind of crime that you just can't even fathom. Now, the only thing that, in my mind, that we did in all that was have a discussion about postpartum psychosis and the amount of medication that she was on, and the fact that it seemed like she did go to multiple people to say, I don't feel right in my own head, and I've got issues.
I did talk about medication and how it can change someone's chemistry. I did go on a rant about that, and I stand by that. Some medications don't jive with people.
Yeah. So from my recollection, that's mainly what was said about this, and I loved hearing the stories about the postpartum psychosis to try to get an understanding of it, because to me, you never want this to happen again. And sadly, this has happened. Andrea Yates, 2001. You know, the Texas mom that killed her 5 children. And she was ultimately found not guilty by reason of insanity. And she is spending the rest of her life in prison, where I believe that, yeah, you don't get out for what you've done. But can we understand it? Because this is clearly a pattern. This has happened before. Now, it's very rare, but if somebody's calling out, what let them down? Was there something about the response system? Was it about the medical system? Do we not understand enough about postpartum psychosis? Is there something to learn from this? And when you say you crossed a line on this one, sorry, my question is, I guess we crossed your line. So, you know, that's the question. And to me, I think you have your line set wrong, because I think you need to discuss things like this so you have better understanding. And what I don't like is when people try to shut down conversations by saying you crossed a line, or trying to make you feel like you said something bad or out of line, or they call you an ist or a phobe of some sort. I don't like that, because what that is, that's a cowardly way out of a tough conversation. A tough conversation that needs to be had. And I'm not going to be bullied out of these conversations by you saying that we crossed a line, because maybe you need to reevaluate where your line is, or maybe you shouldn't have listened to the episode, which you could have tuned away from, or maybe you should find another show. So I think these discussions are important, and I feel okay with the way we had it, trying to come up with an understanding. There was no forgiveness given to this woman about what she has done. It's just trying to understand what has happened.
So she confessed to him right after it happened, as she's in the yard and had just jumped from the window. But when paramedics arrived on the scene and they testified to this in court, they said she was unable to speak. They said she was groaning and moaning in pain, and the paramedics said she was not able to put together any kind of sentence at all. And then she was in a coma after it. So when did she confess? When they told her she did it? I have a lot of questions. And this whole case is like Swiss cheese for me. Look at the shoes he wore. It's a different pair of shoes.
So you're still on the fact that maybe he did it. You're still on that.
I'm still on the fact that maybe he did it. And if that makes me crazy, well, then that makes me crazy. And you know what? I respect the fact that people think that he didn't do it. And I'm like, all right, I see your point. If she did confess to it in a lucid state, okay, all right. But if she confessed to him in the yard, nobody else heard it, and then the paramedics arrive and they said that she was not able to even communicate with them because she was just moaning and groaning in pain. Like, that's not a good enough confession to me.
Okay. I don't know the details of that part of the story.
Look at the shoes. They're different from when he went to the restaurant to when he was in CVS. Okay, why would he change shoes running into CVS to get medicine? The medicine that he got, he supposedly called her and said, they're out of the brand name medicine. Is it okay if I get the generic? And we don't think that this conversation ever happened. And then he came home with the brand name medicine. You can see it in the bag. There's so many holes in this thing.
Okay.
It's infuriating. And I really hope that some of it comes up in closing statements.
It doesn't sound like they're even sniffing around him. It doesn't sound like that's even happening. And
the only people sniffing around him are women like me on the internet that are all upset. That's the only people that are doing it.
We addressed a little bit of it on Friday as to some of the reasons why they're not looking at him, where they've shown that he was in a different location when it had gone on. I saw one woman who got to hear his 911 call, and she said, I have heard somebody who lost someone 40 years ago, and that has stuck with me. I have seen the best actors and actresses in the world, and what he did and how he was and the anguish that he expressed in that call when he discovered his 3 children dead, you can't act that way. This was a man that truly was broken in that moment, and she said it's haunting to hear that call.
I don't deny that he is broken in that call, but why doesn't this timeline make sense?
I don't know the specifics on that. I'd have to look at that a little bit more to understand.
Why would you change your shoes from CVS to the restaurant where you picked up food?
Well, believe it or not, CVS sometimes sells sandals, and they're not that bad. Just as a side note, little levity.
One of the comments that had come up on Friday, though, Virginia, was saying that a lot of these true crime podcast people have delved into this, and the ones who are good have all said, yeah, there's nothing behind this Patrick Clancy conspiracy. It's the people who don't have all the details that are fingering him. That was a comment that was made. That's
what about all the women on the internet that's doing the research?
That's what they said. They said that this is...
They're clearly credible.
Every point that they had brought up had been refuted. That was the tone of the email that we received on Friday. So the people who were in it, it was one woman that sent us the email about the true crime podcast. She said, yeah, it's like they're throwing a lot of stuff against the wall that's not even true, that's kind of been debunked, but some people are still running with it.
Keep in mind, too, crime podcast, say it out loud, podcast, they need material.
Sure, and it's in their best interest.
And this is a human rain delay. You're not going to get all of the answers. So they're going, it's like when Kevin complains about the Super Bowl, like the 2 weeks before, they really start stretching out topics to find something to talk about with football.
Yeah.
When a case, there's not much to talk about anymore, you're going to start stretching and looking for ways to continue to talk about it, monetize your channel, and have content.
I don't know what happened. None of us do, except the people that were there in that house that night. But I'm just saying, like, wow, look at the video of his shoes at CVS and at the restaurant. They're 2 different pair of shoes.
Well, I think the main thing, too, is a lot of people didn't know CVS had shoes to be sold.
Yes.
Well, thank goodness you let us know.
Lulu said, V, that was never verified. These are all theories.
But I've looked at the video. Are the videos fake?
Yes, that's what we're trying to tell you in a nice way, that you might be watching some bullshit stuff. I mean, me and Kevin have been trying to tell you this.
Well, then they're putting bullshit stuff out that's getting like 50,000 likes.
That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, no, that doesn't verify anything. It just shows you it's popular.
The shoes look different.
Dog, the internet is like a New York
But even
alleyway.
if he changed shoes, I mean, does that mean he murdered
No, it
children? I mean, that's
It doesn't mean that. That's what I'm saying. I don't know enough about the case, and I don't want to get involved in all the horrible details. But yes, as a juror, changing the shoes alone, I'd have to have more. There's been times I've gone to the grocery store and realized I didn't have a shoe on. So.
Well, you should have gone to CVS because they sell shoes.
They did at one point. Now I gotta fact check that. I remember
think they do.
I remember buying sandals at CVS.
Yeah, to me, if anything comes out of this, it's that we will have a deeper dive and a look into postpartum issues that happen. Look, the Hayden Panettiere situation, I really think that a lot of things in her life started to go south when she talked about the postpartum depression she had after her child, and she was just in this dark place, and she went to chemicals to try to get out of it. And she never, that's what happened. It looks like she overdosed because of something that started because of postpartum. And to me, this needs to be a bigger conversation. You say, my gosh, we've got a really big problem for women that get it. Now, only about 1 in 7 new mothers experience postpartum depression. And only about, they say, 1 to 2 women per 1,000 births get the psychosis that we're talking about. So it is extremely rare, but my gosh, 3 precious children, one story, 5 in another. I found another story with postpartum psychosis. And, maybe all these women are just evil women, and that's what it was. But there's also a chance, too, that there were conditions with their mental health and the medications they were given that also drove them and got them to a place where they would do something that in a sane mind they wouldn't have done before.
To go back to what you were talking about too, sometimes people, they're curious about this dark kind of shit and they're asking questions, and it can seem like you're promoting or forgiving somebody for a horrific thing when you're really just trying to ask some fucking questions you ain't got the answers to.
Right. To me, I think the focus has to be on these 3 children. And that's just terrible that they lost their lives, a promising life of all of them. And you don't want this to happen again. So if you have a future mom with postpartum psychosis, what do we not give her? How do we handle her when she's calling for help and saying, I'm hearing voices and this stuff is happening to me. Please help me. What do you do at that moment so you truly help her and protect her children so that they don't end up dead at their mother's hands? To me, that's why you got to have this discussion and figure it out.
Yeah, we all agree that she was horribly wrong to kill her kids. No one's defending that.
Whoever killed the kids was horribly wrong to do it.
This is your meatloaf in a purse.
Yeah, this is my meatloaf in a purse.
This is what happens when you hire psychotic people, Kevin.
That's it.
You got to deal with this shit, man.
What do you want, meatloaf in a purse or psycho theories from TikTok?
I want meatloaf in a purse because I'm going to say some stupid, ignorant shit. I'm going to get some long, sad-ass email. It's going to make me feel all bad that I'm a man and I said the wrong shit.
Now, you had Hayden Panettiere's mom going on to ABC, Good Morning America today to address what was said about her on CBS this morning by Gayle King. So Leslie Vogel, she went on, then they did an interview with her, and I was kind of curious what she had to say. And I guess that Denny's, I think, we got a little bit of that. This is what she said. Now, here was the teaser that we had on today's regular show for what she wanted to say. And I think she wanted to restate her sadness and how she felt about her daughter, because I think Gayle kind of called that out for just how because it's almost like she praised her daughter a minute, but she also said, well, but she was hanging out with the wrong people. And Gayle King, I think, was like, well, that just didn't need to be said.
I want Hayden to be remembered for the talented, beautiful, outgoing, intelligent woman she really was.
So she restated that, and then here's what she said this morning while we were on to Good Morning America.
And I think it will probably hit me later on. I would say to the haters out there, you don't have a right to tell me how I mourn the loss of my second child. That's my domain. I was numb. I was just numb. I just couldn't feel anything. I still am not grasping this is real. It just doesn't feel real. My mind tells me it's not at times. It's going to be a process. I need a minute, guys.
Okay, that's a good move. You do the I need a minute to compose myself. That's a sympathetic gesture right there. This is a mom that's grieving.
And how pumped is that network that they got the interview?
Oh, it's a big
instead
one.
of Gayle's network.
Yeah.
That's a big fuck
That's a
you.
big fish.
Big snag for them. Now, you said that people had sent you excerpts from the book, and that's what was being cited to us, that Hayden Panettiere's own book about her mother. And it sounded like one of those situations where you had a mom that was controlling the career and she tried to get separation, just saying, hey, look, and I can understand that. It might be tough to be somebody's mom and manager. And unless you're Taylor Swift's mom, it doesn't seem like many parents have done it well. you know. And so,
There's a lot of horror stories out there.
was there anything that stood out in the excerpts that you saw, Virginia, from what they were sent?
This one definitely stood out to me as the most poignant. So it's from Hayden, and it's a May 2026 interview with Entertainment Tonight. It says, and I quote, "When people ask me about the relationship," she means with her mother, "if there's any hope for the future, I always say I leave that door cracked open in case. Because who doesn't want a relationship with their mother? You pray for it, and hopefully it eventually comes. But she slammed that door pretty hard in my face. She has very clearly prioritized herself, which I should not be shocked by."
Okay.
And, you know, Hayden did fire her mother from being her agent. Her mother was her agent from the time she was a very small child doing commercials till I think when she was 19, she let her go.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that,
Look,
but I think that's what happened. And then the mom got pissed because, you know, that's the money train's coming to a screeching halt.
Well, talent managers and agents are usually pretty cool. That's a joke, by the way. I've had to deal with a couple of them.
Yeah, when she was 19, she fired her mother.
Yeah, I think for a lot of parents, that's tough. It really is. It's a very tough relationship to have. I don't know entirely, but I've coached my kids, and I can tell you that becomes tough. I know that when I was coaching my daughter, Caitlin, we had a lot of friction because I was a lot more serious about it. I'm like, this is what you need to do to be good. And we seem to be on this path where you're trying to be good. I'm like, you got it. Here's what you need to do. And then when things weren't being met, then I got frustrated, and here we are. And then finally, I'm like, our relationship took a hit because of it. I'm like, I'm in this to try to make our relationship stronger, not weaker.
Right. And
Well,
you realized.
And I was like, get out of this. This is not the right thing. And look, I just realized I'm freaking probably too intense for my kids. You know? I really am. I have that realization at my age.
Well,
that
maybe you're a lot like Leslie Vogel in that way, that she was too intense for Hayden.
That's why I wouldn't manage my kids, and I get somebody else, and I'd be like, hey, I'll try to protect you from them and be there, but I should be your protector, not the person that's telling you, hey, you got to do better at this, you got to do better at that. You got to, because coming from out of your parents' mouth, that can be tough to hear over and over again, and then your relationship changes. You're not a parent relationship.
I think that's what happened.
I said that same exact statement, but I don't have kids, but I said that over the weekend. I go, I just think sometimes I might be a little too intense for people.
Right. And I realized that.
I'm at a 10. I need to be about a 6.
Yeah, well, it's a conscious effort for me to fucking just chill the
Dial
fuck
it
out.
back.
Yeah.
And I would need a kid that has the same level of insanity that I do for perfection. And that would be tough. And unless you were there and you could take the constructive criticism and somebody driving you really hard, that wasn't the personalities of my children. And that's fine. I'm glad God made him the way he did, but I'm not the guy to manage him. So.
The other thing, too, is it's cool when the kid actually enjoys the hobby. Sometimes parents make the kid do a hobby the kid is not fucking with.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to see that a lot with baseball. Kids that just did not fuck with baseball.
You see it in
But
every
they're
sport.
at it.
They were terrible. The parents would spend thousands of money to send him to baseball camp, and this kid does not want to fucking even look at a ball.
That sucks.
It does.
It
The kid, because you want to make it fun for the kid, but the kid just it was too hot. Gloves didn't get it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I will tell you, and I saw other coaches too that damaged the relationship they had with their daughters because of how they coached and what went on. And some of them, they're still trying to repair. And, we're 10, 15 years past softball.
Wow.
Because it was. And that's why I just say, look, it's a tough thing. If you're a kid and you can both handle it and have fun and do it the right way, then absolutely, it can be very valuable and a great experience. But I would say that's maybe 10% of those situations probably work out well, either coaching your kid or being their manager in showbiz.
I remember I was 12 years old and I was an umpire, and it was very intimidating because you had to run the baseball game and talk to adults, and you were the authority. So you
At 12?
Yeah, you would talk to I'd have to talk to men who could squash me like a bug. And my first year doing it, I was kind of intimidated. The second year, I was like, fuck, I got this shit. I'm running this field. And I remember a dad. I remember his face. This guy was jacked up too.
Yeah, right.
And I made a call. I was only 12 years old, maybe 13. And he got in my face, started screaming, and I remember the last thing he said to me. He's like, "Come on, man, I really need this." I'm like, "Oh shit."
That's where you need a mirror. Be like,
You're not
dude,
playing.
This is not about
What are
you.
you doing this for?
You're
Right.
not playing, sir.
is.
I really need this. These kids are 8, by the way. They were 8 years old. Motherfucker needed this.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Like, get a
absolutely.
grip, brother. I was 12 and I knew. I'm like, dude, chill out.
Yeah. A lot of people lose themselves in that. They really do. It's too bad. And got a correction here. The parrots I was talking about the other day, Mark said they're actually monk parakeets. They came to South Florida through the pet trade in the 60s. There are now over 150,000 of these birds in South Florida. Yeah, I don't know. I swear the ones that I see down at Bradley's, though, I could swear those are parrots. I mean, I think I know enough to... I mean, I guess maybe I need to go see what a parakeet is, but I think a parrot's a parrot, and that's what I see there. So maybe it wasn't the same kind of gang.
The ones that you described, I have in my neighborhood. I've seen them. There's like 8 or 9 of them that stay in a group together.
Are they parrots, do you think?
They look like parrots. I'm a fucking bird expert.
I mean, I'll tell you, because they get close. I'm like, that's a parrot, and the sound and everything else. I had to babysit parrots one time with a guy I work with a long
that
time
sounds
ago.
terrible.
It was rough, but
I would have set them free.
But I'll tell you, I got very familiar with the sound of parrots in those couple of weeks.
Did the parrot say anything fun?
No, I trained it how to sing the Archie Bunker theme, though. And
You
I
did?
told my buddy, and it's 30 years, and the bird still sings it all the time. While the Waggling Miller play.
Are you fucking kidding
Yeah,
me?
it sings the whole thing.
I
Songs
know
that
this?
made the hit parade. And the parrot sings the entire song. He's like, oh my God, not again. He's like 30 years later, because I did it to fuck with him. And so I sat there for hours singing this thing over and over and over again to this parrot. You could hear it was looking at me and go, boy, the way. I'm like, yes, boy, the Waggling Miller play.
You did the slow burn prank, which I respect
It's
very
the
hard.
best song for a parrot to sing. It was hysterical because it sounds just like Edith Bunker on the thing. If you know that show.
I mean, can we book this parakeet?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time face to face with the parrot. So, oh my damn parrots. All right, well, appreciate all of your emails. Thank you so much. Mail at KVJShow.com. That's how you get them through to us. Y'all enjoy this Monday. We got 4 more fun days of KVJ coming at you starting tomorrow. Goodbye.